Hi everyone, welcome to this week's reading. It's for the 12th of February through to the 18th of February. The big news this week astrologically is that we have a new moon partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius at 27 degrees of Aquarius. That's this Thursday, Friday, depending where you are in the world, on the 15th of February this happens. So with this energy, what you can expect, I'll sort of go through some of the influences with this energy. I think collectively it's a big shift of energy regarding awakening and sort of connecting with higher consciousness and pushing boundaries as well, and going to a new level for humanity, because Aquarius is a sign that relates to humanity, people as a whole, and as well as the consciousness of the people of the world. So this is a very significant time that we're going through. We've just had that full moon lunar eclipse in Leo recently, and now we've got the solar eclipse. So it's very intense energies. A lot of people might be finding it a little bit difficult at this time as we kind of go through these energetic, emotional shifts and changes. And, the body can sort of struggle under the sort of duress of the tension that's created when there's a new shift of energy, sort of opening up your chakras or vibrating your energy to a different level. So some of you may know what I'm talking about, in the sense that it's opening you up, and it could be opening up your psychic abilities. It could be opening you up just in terms of your awareness of yourself and your life, and even down to things like human behavior, understanding, human beings, ourselves and others, all that sort of thing. Now, So I feel like this is a very important solar eclipse energy, and it's very much sort of a shifting point. I do feel it's very mostly positive, in the sense that the sign of Aquarius is a very positive, sort of hopeful sign when it comes to the future. And so a lot of you may be thinking about your futures at this time because of this energy as well, and getting you to think about, what you want for yourself out of life, and maybe even making some changes, or changes just happening around you that are kind of spurring you on. The eclipses tend to create an energy of shift and change on their own, but they sort of spark awareness as well in our minds also. So those that will be mostly affected will be Aquarians, especially if you have anything around the later degrees of Aquarius. So if you're born towards the end of the sign of Aquarius for your sun sign, or if you have anything in the fixed signs, so that's Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius, 27 degrees or thereabouts, it's going to have some kind of effect or impact on you. For some people, this is a focus on like support, friends, dealing with the public, groups, those type of energies, or even healing, things to do with higher consciousness, awareness, and spiritual growth as well. The other stuff going on astrologically this week is... what else do we have? Towards the end of this week, I'll just mention something significant with Mercury. Mercury will be at the anaretic degree, which is the critical degree of Aquarius, before it shifts into Pisces. And then next week, we've got all this Pisces watery energy, which is going to be really kind of a combination of people feeling sleepy, creative, spiritual, dreamy, wanting to, relax, not wanting to work much. So it's a bit of a tough energy for motivation from next week. But back to this week, that anaretic degree of Aquarius, with the Mercury being there on Sunday, could bring things to a peak mentally for a lot of people. So it can, especially coming off that solar eclipse on the 15th, then on the Sunday, we have that Mercury situation. So we could be thinking a lot, could be processing things, or having major realizations, moments of clarity about ourselves or certain situations in our life, or about our future. Other stuff going on during this week is, Venus will be in Pisces. It shifted into Pisces last week, so just over the weekend actually. So you may have felt like around Sunday, very, very sleepy, very dreamy, like you want to stay in bed all day. Maybe you wanted to go be by the water, or do something that involved spirituality, or you had spiritual experiences, because Venus in Pisces is exalted, meaning it is in its most powerful placement for Venus. And Pisces is all about, Venus in Pisces there, it's all about love, compassion, relationships, but also spirituality, creativity, going to a new level with these things as well now. So the other thing is with that, if you feel tired with this energy, don't be too hard on yourself, because a lot of people might be feeling a combination of just very tired, but also very idealistic, and thinking about sort of For some people, you know, it's a feeling of confusion as well, because Pisces energy can do that. So you may feel a bit lost when it comes to love and relationships. You may feel like you don't know what you want, or you don't know what you're looking for. That's another aspect of sort of the downside of it. What else have we got? Wednesday to Friday, Mercury in Aquarius will make a sextile to Uranus in Aries. So I quite like that energy for some kind of breakthrough mentally. There is a big focus on that mental energy as well as spiritual energy this week in general. So there could be some information come to you between Wednesday and Friday that's important, or creates a realization for you, or stimulates your mind in some exciting new way. You could have new ideas, that sort of thing. If you're a creative person, that would be really good for ideas between Wednesday and Friday. Thursday to Friday, Venus sextiles with Saturn. So that's interesting. That could mean that you're manifesting more of your spiritual gifts in a practical manner, and or you're kind of making creative things very real for yourself. You might feel inspired to do something creative, like make an artwork, or do photography, or do something that's very tangible and very real with your creative abilities and your inspirations, ideas, and spiritual insights even can give you a boost into your physical reality, which is really good. And that's pretty much it for the astrology for the week. As I said, next week we go more into Pisces energy, as we have the Sun, Mercury and Venus all in Pisces from next week, and I'll talk about that more next week. So let's have a look at the cards this week. If you'd like a personal reading with me, just to let you know, I'm really busy at the moment, but I'm still taking orders, but the turnaround time is 8 to 14 business days at this time, okay? So let's see what the energies are for this week. I'm drawn to that one, definitely that one. By the way, these cards are the Silver Witch Tarot. Interesting. All right. So the Five of Swords. Not really a fan of that card when it comes up. It can mean clashes of opinion and differences of opinion, a confrontation, uncomfortable energy between yourself and another person. Interestingly, you see this couple here and they've drawn a line in the sand. So that can sometimes speak to a relationship difficulty or confrontation for some people in a relationship, where, that metaphor, the line is drawn in the sand and you cannot go further for some reason. So there could be some kind of, sorry, the camera wasn't on all the cards, I didn't notice that. There could be a confrontation with someone this week, and it could be in a relationship situation, or it could be, someone at work, or some stress build up there that causes an argument. And I do feel I want to say there's a focus on couples here. It would make sense, with Venus in Pisces, people are feeling very idealistic, and they're really feeling where they're not feeling loved. That's really becoming highlighted at this time. So because Venus in Pisces brings out this feeling of wanting the perfect love and craving that, to fill that void, a lot of people will be feeling that type of energy. And if you feel like your current relationship is falling short, you may start getting quite cranky with your partner, or with someone, around you. So just be wary of this energy. People are only human, can only do what they can do. And if you're not satisfied in a relationship, then, you have to consider moving on, because that's what the next card is talking about here, the Three of Wands. And it's talking about, for some people, broadening their horizons in general. Another message I'm getting here is, even for people in relationships, is not to so much focus your need to fill that void within yourself on another person. That's kind of can be a very destructive way of being in a relationship. It can be quite unhealthy. So it's better to sort of look at what you want to do with your life in an individual sense, and channel that creative energy into your own path, rather than project all your issues onto your partner. Potentially that could be another way to read it. But for some people, it looks like a separation of some kind, and a following of one's inner guidance to self-fulfillment, because that's what the Empress is. It's the Venus card, and Venus is, she has this knowledge of herself that she can fulfill her own inner self, and she's not easily seduced in a way. So it tells you that following the path of your own creativity rather than, you know, obsessing about someone who's not giving you perfectly what you need here, but focusing on what you've got to offer in the world, your own path, your own spiritual calling, your own creativity. It's very important here. I'm just going to see if there's any other messages coming through. Also, another thing is I'm getting, if for some people, if there's an argument at the beginning of the week here, which that could signify, and you do some self-reflection, the Empress card can also suggest that things get smoothed over for some people, that it works out in the end. And I'm just going to see if there's any other messages. I heard Clash of Wheels on this card with the Five of Swords, so it could be just an argument that has been building up for a while even, and in a way it's like with it coming out, it gives you a new perspective, but then things are actually renewed in some way with the Venus card coming up there, so that I feel like all in all it's actually quite a positive message either way you look at it. So alright, now I'm going to get one card because we have Venus in Pisces. Let's look at relationships with the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. And so I'm looking at relationships, love, energy in general, self-love, creativity. So let's look at it like that because the Venus in Pisces. And see what other message there is for this week. Observe. Interesting. So it's a number 12 over here, which in numerology adds to 3, which is about creativity and also communication. But the card itself is about observing you. What I'm getting is observing yourself in your communications with others. How do you communicate? Do you communicate in a way that's positive or negative, or do you communicate in a way that is provocative, or, you know, trying to get a reaction from other people? It's about self-awareness, and that totally makes sense with all with the Aquarius solar eclipse that we have. I think that, you know, the Aquarius energy allows people to get a clear perspective on themselves and their behavior and have an element of detachment rather than reacting to things. And that could also be a message because of the fact that the Five of Swords came up, to sort of avoid arguments this week because they might be very emotional. Okay, so that was the reading for this week, everybody. I hope that brought some insight or information, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.